Hi there, happy Profit First allocation day. And today we're gonna actually apply things that we've been talking about from last week. So last week we talked about calculating an hourly rate and why I think it's still appropriate to have an hourly rate for some reasons in your business. There's 3 reasons I give you in last week's video. Go check it out if you haven't watched it yet so that you can see, because that doesn't exactly align with the McCalibers of moving away from hourly pricing. But I think there are 3 appropriate ways to use hourly pricing in your business. And I shared that with you last week. Today, we're going to calculate what that bottom line hourly rate is. Now, I'm going to share 2 resources, 2 spreadsheet resources with you that are going to help us calculate those numbers. This video might take a little longer because of that, because we have to do kind of 2 steps to get to your bottom line hourly rate. But we're going to take our time and we're going to have fun and enjoy ourselves. And I'm going to talk you through some caveats to using these 2 tools. Now, first I have to thank Linda Stapf of Stapf Financial. She put these 2 spreadsheets together. I did not put all these formulas together. I had someone way smarter than me do that. And she is sharing this with us. And I will, there are links in the description below for you to be able to access these spreadsheets for yourself. And when you use them, you'll notice that they are view only, and you're gonna go and make a copy, call it whatever you want, and then you can manipulate the spreadsheet the way that you want. Now, the 2 steps that we have to take to get to our bottom line hourly rate is we have to talk about how do we cover our budget. So what amount of money do we need to make as a business owner from our business to cover our monthly and yearly expenses, to cover our bills? We're going to pay our bills with this amount of money. So we need to pay ourselves that amount from our business. We have to figure that out first. And second, then we need to figure out from there what our hourly rate bottom line has to be in order to pay ourselves this amount for our bills. There are going to be a number of other pieces of information that we get out of these spreadsheets, and I'm going to kind of glaze over those today because I want to focus in on that one thing, calculating our bottom line hourly rate. We're going to come back to these spreadsheets over and over again because this is also going to help us budget, forecast, put together products and service packages that work for our business. And it's going to help us be able to see how much we should be allocating in each of our accounts on an annual or quarterly basis, monthly basis. And then finally, it's going to give us some good KPIs to track. So it's going to be things that we can watch. They're going to be key performance indicators, KPIs, that we can watch on a regular basis to make sure that our business stays financially healthy. However, we're not going to cover all of those in one fell swoop. We're just going to do that one thing, looking at our bottom line hourly rate. So you're going to see a ton of numbers on here that we're not paying attention to today. Just remember, we will come back to those because they're helpful and they will help us do a number of things. But our goal today is to find our bottom line hourly rate. What can we not charge below that number for a product, a service, or spending time with a client? So let's dive into that. We always start with our monthly spending plan, what our bills are. So if you have a quarterly bill, a biannual bill, or an annual bill, just divide, if it's in the example of an annual bill, just divide that by 12, pop a monthly number in here so that we're accumulating funds to cover that bill whenever it comes due. The thing to remember about this spreadsheet is that it's got a lot of calculations going on, and in order for the calculations to work, we just need to put numbers in the green boxes. So green means you can type in there. If you start typing on some of these other cells in here, you can see there's a formula sitting there. It's calculating things for you. If you start typing into those cells, then that means the formula goes away, and so it doesn't calculate what you need. So you only want to put money. You only want to put data in the green cells. And Linda, in her template here, has given us an example of someone who needs to be having $117,000 coming to them to pay their bills on an annual basis. So as the business owner, that needs to be their take-home pay. And you'll notice I said take-home pay. Taxes are in an entirely separate account, so this is not what your payroll would be. This is what you take home. So because we have to pay bills with them, that's what we're talking about. So pop numbers into the green cells here. We're giving you some clues as to what could be included, but it's not everything. If you need to add some rows here, even some nice to have, some necessities, fill in the blanks here and put the numbers into the green cells. And then it's going to calculate how much money you need to take home from your business in order to cover your bills. It will give you this annualized amount. It'll give you a monthly and an annualized amount. One question that we get around how much money to put in the green cells is when you share the load of expenses with a partner. How much do you put your whole mortgage in there, even though you don't, as the business owner, pay the full mortgage? Maybe you split it, or maybe your spouse takes care of the mortgage and you do utilities and groceries, whatever that might be. You don't put your whole household budget here. Just put the amount that you as the business owner want to contribute toward your household budget. So this is not really a household budgeting tool. This is a how much money do you need to be pulling out of your business to cover how you need to live your life. And so if that means that you do half the rent, then put half the rent in here. Or if you do all of certain categories, put those in as well. I'm single. This is my full household budget that I plug into this specific spreadsheet to get my numbers right, but that might not be the way things are for you. So put the number that you need to be getting out of your business in order to cover the bills as you would like to cover them. So in this example, this person needs $117,000 in order to cover their bills. Now notice that this is a business that is between $500,000 and $1 million. There's a drop down here where you can change that. So if you're between $0 and $250,000, just change that drop down and you'll notice it changes the percentages here. So this is basically, according to Profit First, if you're between $0 and $250,000 in revenue, then you as the business owner should be taking home 50% of that revenue to cover your bills. So that's why this changes to 50% with that drop down. If you move it to 50 to 500,000, you get to a 35% take out of the business for the business owner. 10% profit, 15% tax, 40% savings. So these are the numbers. So you've got 5% going to profit, 15% going to taxes, 30% going to operating expenses at that point. And you can change it according to the revenue that you've got coming in your door. And in order to pay yourself this then gives you a total revenue needed. Your business needs to generate $1.1 million in order for you to take home $117,000. Now you'll notice that the wealth building changes significantly as you change revenue categories. So 117 is always the number, and I'm saying that wrong. 117 is not always the number. That will change according to what you put in this field over here. So now it's only 112,000 that gets generated over here. But once you've plugged your numbers in, the number that is here, what you need annualized, is always going to be the same over here in this amount to transfer. What will change, however, is as you change revenue categories, Your wealth building will change because that is the amount of money that you're putting into profit if you're following the profit first system. So in a year, you'll pay yourself $112,000 take home pay on a regular basis. And then you will also be getting quarterly bonuses of $32,000. This is when Profit First can feel really exciting because you can see how things change. If you get your revenue over $500,000, you can still take home $112,000, but that means that you will be getting $84,000 in quarterly bonuses. That's almost double what your take home pay is just by moving that revenue number up. And just remember, when we're talking revenue here, we're talking about revenue after COGS, revenue after contractors. So this says total revenue, and this revenue is what your business needs to generate to be able to pay this amount in profit, this amount in taxes. And so as a result, this is going to be after COGS, after contractors, so that we're paying you 50% on the right number. And I have a video around how I totally messed that up initially and was not calculating my number, profit numbers, tax number on the right revenue number because I was calculating it before I had pulled COGS out or pulled out subcontractors. And that really messed up my numbers because it gave me like 5% left over. So you can watch that video to see how I totally messed it up and it made me almost quit Profit First. This number is after COGS and after subcontractors right here. What you're going to do is take this number here, 224.4, whatever it turns out to be. 224.4 might not necessarily be the number. If you remember, this was $2,200 and that was 234. So whatever this number ends up being, according to like 585 here, because I changed that we're going to be allocating different percentages to the business owner, tax account, operating expenses based on the revenue that I'm bringing in. So if it's 585, that is the number that I end up entering over here into the green cell on this products and services spreadsheet. So again, file, make a copy, call it what you like. I have mine as my name, products and services. And then whatever the calculation ends up here, 117,000, but the total revenue needed is 585. So, and this worksheet actually has instructions. So pull your revenue goal from the income targeting worksheet. Now, one of the things that I want to caution here is you're pulling your revenue for your whole business in, and then you're calculating what your hourly rate needs to be based on number of weeks that multiple people are working, probably at the 585 level. Maybe not. Maybe you're making over $500,000 just as you. If you are, this is totally appropriate. Here's your hourly rate based on these numbers that are entered here. However, if it's more than just you working, then you need to take into account the number of hours each day that multiple people will be working. What we're gonna do is pretend that we're a little bit smaller, 250 to 500. That's reasonable for a one person show. 0 to 250, 250 to 500. I would bet most of us are in that range if we're a one person show, bringing in this amount into the door. So then the total revenue needed would be 234. 234 is that number. The number of weeks you want to work this year. Now, if you follow Mike McAllowitz, Clockwork, Dr. Sabrina Starling, you know you want a 4-week vacation in your life. So I think that's why the 48 weeks of working is here. This is assuming you're going to take 4 weeks off. let's say you do take a 4-week vacation, you still are probably going to want a week or 2 or 3 mixed in as you're, needing breaks, not all in one segment. So 6 weeks, 8 weeks of vacation, let's just plan for that. So 52 weeks in a year, 46, let's just say you take 2 extra weeks. You take 4-week vacation, and then you have 2 other weeks that you take at some point. That's working 46 weeks a year. Then the number of days you want to work each week. Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 5? Maybe you're a 5-day work week. That's fine. But you can make that change, and it's going to help you see a change to this hourly rate. Then the maximum number of hours you want to work each day. Now look, number 4 on the instruction piece here says plan on 70 to 75% capacity. This is good whether this is an exercise for you as an individual or for you and your team. Plan on 70 to 75% capacity. That's just a good utilization number. I would err towards 70%. And the reason is because you've got administrative things to do during your day, or maybe people call in sick, like things are going to happen. You're not going to be able to have 100% utilization of your time in billable hours. So that's why we say 70% of what you're actually going to work. So if you want to work 8 hours a day, you can get 5 hours of billable time in probably. And then that means that it calculates these things for you. So you can see these numbers are not calculations, but these cells down here are. So you're going to want to fill in the top 4 cells up here, and allow the bottom 3 cells to calculate themselves. So you need $234,000 in revenue coming into your business. That's after COGS and after subcontractors. Then you want to work only 46 weeks in a year. You want to work 4 days a week and 5 hours a day. That's, we're looking at 70% capacity. And that means that you need to generate after COGS, after subcontractors, you need to generate $5,087 a week. Good KPI to watch. $1,272 a day if you were to track things on a daily basis. But truly, this is where I like to come and take a look. Is this revenue generated per hour? Here's your bottom line hourly rate, $254. If you are in the $0 to $250,000 category, you need $117 to pay yourself. You need to generate $234,000 in revenue after COGS, after subcontractors, and that means you can charge no less than $254 an hour if you want to work 46 weeks a year, 4 days a week, 5 billable hours a day, which is around 75% capacity. 75% capacity. So $254 is your bottom line. That means if you want to calculate a day rate, thinking of the time that you're going to take away from your work to be able to spend on other billable hours, that can help you come up with a bottom line. And include the time that you're going to be traveling to and from the venue. Include all the prep time that you've got to put into the work. That's why it's not like, okay, I'll spend 8 hours, so we're going to take this number times 8. And then, oh goodness, of course, there's a problem. We're going to take this number and multiply it times 8. There we go. And okay, I will charge $2,000 for a presentation. No, that is the day that you're presenting. for people. So what you've got to do is change this number of hours, because you're going to be spending hours working on the project. So maybe it's 8 is the number of hours you're going to spend at the presentation, but maybe you've got to travel to, and that's going to take 4 hours. And then maybe you've got to do prep work, and that's going to take you 15 hours. And what about any follow-up? Any follow-up from that? Now you're at your day rate, around $9,500. And that gives you a better indication of the bottom line that you can charge to come be a speaker at an event, for an example, or a one-day strategy session has to be this. Now, you've got to deliver value on the back end of that, or the day itself has to be valuable enough. They have to walk away with enough to be able to pay that. But you can't do it for less than that and run your business and pay your bills. That's the bottom line of using this hourly revenue calculator to help you understand what you need to be charging. If someone's like, hey, I have a quick question. Okay, sure, book an hour of my time, $254. That's your rate to be charging. And look, it's the bottom line. It does not mean that you charge $254. It means you don't charge less than $254. So when you're thinking about the value of your time and how much you're spending working on different kinds of projects, and you really think about prep time, delivery time, follow-up time, all of the admin time that you're weaving together to get things across a finish line, this can help you start to calculate what that one thing should cost no less than in order for you to put a proposal together. So it's one way to get to the right pricing, but doing this one exercise with a mastermind group of mine with other lady creatives, we all gasped at how we were undercharging day rates, undercharging for hours of our time, undercharging for different products and services that we were offering. And the other thing it did for us was we would have some retainer fees that we were working on projects for people by the month. And when we looked at the number of hours that we were spending on those projects, some of us gasped and said, wow, I'm not making enough to cover this. And I have to pay my bills. So this is one way to start calculating the right number. Now, there are probably a million questions that you end up having after trying to use these spreadsheets. We did. I'm saying that because my mastermind group and I had a million questions. I'm totally available to help you work through this for a fee, of course, but also my Profit First professional, Linda Stapf with Stapf Financial, has a number of packages that she offers to help you do exactly this so that you can clean up your books and get your Profit First pricing right. And I will offer you links in the description of this video for all of the above, but just know that there will be future videos where we go and we're working through different items using these spreadsheets, because these spreadsheets are good for so many things. We use them for one today. We're going to get into KPIs, calculating taxes, putting packages together using some of these tools. So we will be back to these spreadsheets again, and I'll keep this video available so that you can always come back to it as well. But reach out if you need any help, either to me or to Linda Stapf, my Profit First pricing professional, and we will be happy to work with you working through these spreadsheets or through other Profit First issues with you for creatives, marketing, other business owners. All right, that's it for today. Understand how to calculate your bottom line so that you can get your pricing right. And we will be back next week. I think we're gonna have a little bit of a celebration because it's going to be Profit First Distribution Week next week. And I'm pretty excited about it. All right, talk to you later. Bye.